Long ago, in a time when hearing a direct word from God was incredibly rare, there lived a young boy named Samuel. He wasn't a king, a warrior, or a prophet, not yet, anyway. He was simply a child, dedicated to serving in the house of God. His mother, Hannah, had prayed with all her heart for a son. When Samuel was born, she fulfilled her promise to God and brought him to the temple to be raised in his service, under the care of the elderly priest, Eli. Samuel's life was one of quiet devotion. He opened the great doors of the temple each morning, kept the sacred lamps burning, and learned the rhythms of worship. He was faithful, obedient, and respectful, but there was one crucial thing missing. Samuel knew about God, but he didn't yet know the sound of his voice. One quiet night, as the temple settled into stillness and the lamps burned low, everything was about to change. Eli, whose eyesight was failing, was asleep in his room. Samuel lay down to rest in the temple hall, unaware that this ordinary night would soon become extraordinary. Suddenly, a voice pierced the silence. "Samuel!" Startled, Samuel immediately jumped up. He assumed it was Eli calling for him. He ran to the old priest's side and said, "Here I am. You called me." But Eli, stirring from his sleep, replied, "I didn't call you. Go back and lie down." Confused but obedient, Samuel returned to his bed. A few moments later, the voice came again, just as clearly. "Samuel." Once more, Samuel hurried to Eli's room. "Here I am," he said, "for you did call me." Again, Eli shook his head. "My son, I did not call. Go back to sleep." Samuel went back, likely wondering what was going on. Then, for a third time, the voice called his name. This time, as Samuel stood before him, a realization dawned on Eli. It wasn't him calling the bull. It was God. Eli's instructions were gentle but clear. "Go and lie down," he told Samuel. "And if he calls you again, you must say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" With his heart pounding in his chest, Samuel returned to his spot and waited. The voice came a fourth time, clearer and more personal than before. "Samuel, Samuel." This time, Samuel didn't run. He stayed right where he was and answered in a quiet, steady voice, just as Eli had taught him. "Speak, for your servant is listening." And in that moment, God spoke to Samuel. He shared a heavy, difficult message about the future, about a failure in leadership and the great changes that were coming. It was a profound burden for a young boy to carry, but God trusted him with it. When morning came, Samuel was afraid. How could he tell his mentor, Eli, the difficult words God had spoken? But Eli sensed the weight on the boy's shoulders and insisted on hearing everything. So, Samuel told him the whole truth, holding nothing back. Eli listened with solemn acceptance, saying, "He is the Lord. Let him do what seems good to him." From that day forward, everything was different. Samuel grew, and God continued to speak with him. The boy who once didn't recognize God's voice became a man whose every word proved true. People all across the land came to know that Samuel was a true prophet of the Lord. He grew into one of the greatest leaders in his nation's history, guiding the people with wisdom and divine truth. Samuel's story is a powerful reminder that God often speaks not in the whirlwind or the fire, but in the quiet moments when we least expect it. He doesn't always choose the most powerful, the most experienced, or the most knowledgeable. Sometimes, he simply looks for a heart that is humble, available, and willing to say, "Speak, Lord, I'm listening." The real question isn't whether God is speaking to us. The question is, are we quiet enough to hear?